Hello, everyone. We are live.
Hey Sandra, how you doing? How's everybody in chat doing?
Guys, I would like you to meet my friend AAP Patriot. So, we're going to be interviewing him and see what he's up to with his channel. We're going to do just a little roll call here. We have Barbara Ann. We have Schooly, The Adventures with Mike and Jan. Hello. Paranormal Melissa, my para sister. Eric, my husband. And we have Keith. Hello. Welcome. All these new faces. Okay. Forgo Farmer. Another brother. Okay. So let's start the show. Okay. So the first question I always ask my guests is, how did you get to name your channel the way you named it? Like, how did you come up with this idea to call your channel AAP Variety?
My channel actually originally started out as Armored American Patriot, and eventually I wanted to change the name because I knew that that could have like some type of political effect to my channel. So I didn't really want to have that tied as that. But everybody knows me as Armored American Patriot that knew my channel from original. And but what made it what made me want to be a variety channel was the fact that you never know when you're going to pick your phone up and something's going on and you would like to film it right there and show more people. You don't never know what kind of content you're going to be doing. And like I do a bunch of different things. So it's like sometimes I just want to record what I'm doing, put it on there and see what happens. And sometimes the videos that I make that are like my quickest videos, they might do the best out of everything. So I wanted to make it a variety channel. That way I could bring a variety of people together, bring a variety of communities together, because I've been in and out of many communities, and what I find is there's great people everywhere. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It don't matter if you're paranormal exploration, metal detecting, 420, or whatever. It's just a lot of great people, and my goal was to start bringing more and more people together, so we all realize that we don't have to be stuck in like this one community, but we can expand because there's so many freaking awesome people out there. But you got to be open to everybody, especially, a channel like mine.
Yeah, okay. So you decided to help us small YouTubers to grow. That
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is it difficult to do this, or do you get like strikes from YouTube and stuff for doing this?
Nope. YouTube has been very good to me. I actually love what I do. Like I said, I'm pretty good at it. I love getting on here and talking fast and being in a fast pace. I love just hustling, getting things done. It's always been in my blood. My dad always told me to keep fire in your blood. And I've always done that. I've always just been a fast paced person. But, I got to where myself I was going into grow channels, and they were cool and everything, and even mine, it's the same thing every day, so it might get boring, but I was just like, yeah, this could use a little more pep. Let me see what I can do, and at that moment, I was just 420. I was into 420. I was showing all my cannabis content and doing all these things, and so anyway, after realizing that I'm stuck in one area and having to remove over 300 videos, I've just decided to expand and broaden everything. Kind of got
Okay.
lost in the conversation there because the door just opened. What's up, buddy? What is that? Don't put that in your mouth. Come on, get out of here. I'm in the middle of something, please. Sorry about that, my friend.
Oh, that's normal because you have six little ones at home.
Yeah, I got 6 little ones that drive me up the wall when I am not with my YouTube family and I'm not down here. Then, whoo, things are hectic. What's up, buddy? Well, let me play in the office. Well, I'll get you on there in a little bit, buddy. But right now I'm live, and you need to go upstairs, okay? Be a good boy, buddy. I'll be up there in a little bit.
Yeah, it's just an hour. The show's just an hour.
But yeah, making it a variety channel was just because I love metal detecting. I've been able to pick up on paranormal things pretty much all my life. So I got into the paranormal community. I love exploring myself. So the exploration channels and having such amazing people in there. So it's like, why not try to bring everybody together and build everybody's channel up? I mean, because that's the way I'm doing it. So what I'm trying to do is just kind of spread that love to all my friends that want to come in and grow their channel the same way.
Okay. So you've been doing YouTube for how long now?
I've been doing YouTube now for going on 3 years.
Okay. Wow. And you said you do exploring too?
I don't have any exploring videos because I just recently moved to Michigan. And most of the
Okay.
time that I've been here so far, I've been like remodeling my house and doing a bunch of things and getting to know the towns and things like that. We're in the city, so there's a lot that we're trying to learn about everything around us. And so, but yes, eventually here, I want to get together with a few people like Michigander Man, maybe even
Mhm.
eventually with Lakeshore Paranormal and do some exploration videos for sure.
Yeah, you can do like abandoned and then abandoned haunted and stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
that'd be great.
And like
Okay.
AU Guy says, AAP has helped me reach a few goals. I love busting goals, but I get a little bit disappointed in the morning, when uh, I see that people have lost subscribers, but see, that happens to me as well too. I lose them
Yeah.
every night, but if just give it a few days, they will come back because these are real people. These aren't robots. And so once that hits the algorithm, all your subscriber count should come back up. So that's one thing that I want everybody to understand as well too, is that does happen to everybody as well. So don't get discouraged.
Yes, it can be discouraging.
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys. So if you have any questions, put them in all caps. If you have a question you've always wanted to ask a patriot or something, just put it in all caps and we'll answer it for you. Okay.
I see some amazing people up in chat for real. Scat Pack and Russell Sperry and Justin and KYG, Moose
Yeah.
McGrew. Got some really cool people up in here.
Okay, here he's saying any experience you might call paranormal. So he's asking for what is exactly your paranormal experience that you have?
Well, it started out just by being able to sense things around me where I could feel when there's energies around me. I know when I'm in a positive place. I know when I'm in a negative place. I can feel it before anything ever actually starts. And so it kind of all started with being able to feel that negative energy in places. And I kept getting it. I kept getting it. And it got to the point almost where it's like when you go to look in the mirror, you're almost scared to look back beyond your own face because you feel like something's right behind you. And
Yes.
so, after a month or two of living in this house in South Carolina that was going on, I actually woke up because I felt a presence. And when I did, there was a big shadow figure lady with curlers in her hair staring right at me in my face. We met eye to eye. And when I did, her whole entire body just went right off to the side as quick as you could blink your eye. Just like that. And I got up
Wow.
and I got under the covers for a while until I had the balls to get up. But finally, I did get up and I waited and waited for cars to drive by and things like that. There's no way that I saw some type of shadow coming off of a reflection. This was an actual lady standing there. I could describe her. But, what makes that even more realistic is that when I moved out of that house, a lady moved in behind me and she always uses my company to clean her carpet. And so, she called to get the carpet cleaned and always said, have you had any types of experiences in that house since you moved in? She said, are you talking about the big lady with the curlers in her hair? And as soon as she said that, bam, that hit me like a brick wall because I knew for sure that I had already seen that. And I knew for sure at that moment that shadow people actually do exist and they are out there. And some people are going to see them and some people might not. And it could be the negativity in your life that brings them on, but they're there. It's a real thing. And it's hard to imagine. It's hard to believe, but they're definitely there.
Okay. And so you moved out of there. So
Hmm. Yeah, that was in
did
South
she
Carolina, and
did
I'm
she
in Michigan
follow
now.
you? Did she follow you to Michigan or?
I don't think that I have that person living there. That lady's name ended. Her name was Mrs. Snyder in Mount Pleasant. I bought a house that a 1951 World War II veteran built right here in Michigan. His wife passed away in this house after 65 years of living here, and he passed away in the nursing home this past year. He just passed away at 99 years old. And Steve Huff, he's pretty popular out there. A lot of people think he's fake and all that. And I don't promote him, but I'll tell you right now, the Miracle Box app that Steve Huff has created is a miracle. And it's the best communication paranormal tool I've ever come across. Some people find that hard to believe. Some people might not believe me. Some people might think it's not nothing because they don't get anything. You don't always get something. And if
No.
you really don't have the right type of aura, you might never get anything. But that doesn't mean that what you're seeing or hearing from other people is fake, because this stuff is real. So I downloaded that app from Steve Huff when I got here to Michigan because it just came out about a few months ago. I was one of the first people to actually download the app. And I started using it right away. I followed Steve Huff's directions. He's got a video on that as well. And right away, I started getting direct communication. And the lady coming through kept saying, Beth, Elizabeth. And I kept hearing Beth and Elizabeth. And I was like,
Okay.
Rebecca's sitting way over on the other side of the road, on the other side of the room, but she can hear me talking. She's like, did you say Elizabeth? And I said, yeah, Elizabeth. And she's like, you do know that's the lady that passed away here, right? And I was like, no. I said, I didn't know that. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, whoa. And so I was like, dang. And that kind of scared me. But I started communicating more, and she started answering every single question almost crystal freaking clear. My first videos that I did were the clearest, not the videos. My first EVPs I did were the best, which got freaking erased, but I was able to do 3 more since then on here that should be able to help convince many others that what's going on is just unbelievable. So Mrs. Erickson, the woman that passed away in this home, she answers my questions, my friends, which means she's still here, or her soul is anyway, which is awesome, because I don't feel any negativity in this house. Are you in the upper
Okay.
Michigan or lower? I'm right in the middle and the lower, so I'm considered one of those trolls in Michigan, my friend.
Have
Let
another
me get a
one
sip of
here.
this drink right here. So
This.
Mrs. Erickson, I could go live with her right now and she would answer. So my son has one of the Apple iPhones, the newest one. He downloaded a SLS camera app, one of those apps,
Yeah.
you can see the little stick figures and all.
Yeah.
And the whole time she was communicating, she was standing right there by me. And we asked her if she wanted to sit down on the couch next to me. And that dang, I'll be dang, if the stick figure didn't come, kneel, and sit right down and was answering all the questions. So, I'm pretty convinced that there's no way that this could be going on unless I'm directly communicating with her spirit, because only she could answer the questions that I actually ask.
Yeah. Here, Melissa wants to know the age of your kids.
I've got the one that keeps coming in. He's going to be 6 years old soon. He's 5. My oldest son is 17 now. I've got one that's 11, a one that is 10, and one that is 9. I've got 6 kids total. I've got a 1-year-old as well. Everybody's happy here. So I'm thinking that, the spirits that are here, they're definitely positive. There's nothing negative about them. I don't feel any negativity here.
Okay.
So,
Hello.
which is a good thing. And none of my kids ever seem to be bothered by anything as well either. And then we did see a
Okay.
white cloud go through the wall one night which, you know, I always heard was a more along like the friendly side of a spirit, which is awesome because we have not felt harassed here at all. But she
Okay.
will answer your questions.
Okay. Yeah, it's because I guess you fall on an app that was really connected to you. And if another person would try that app, it probably wouldn't have as much of success, I guess.
The thing about communicating with spirits is, for one, you got to be in the right place. And for two, if you go to a place where there is spirits, but you're calling on the wrong name, they might not come forward. You have to, and another thing, you got to have a positive aura about you. Something about me, these spirits really seem to like. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my high energy. Y'all know I'm high energy. I go all day, every day.
Yes, the
So
spirits
another
run
place.
after energy. Yeah.
Another place I went that proves this app to be one of the most unbelievable communication tools to ever exist is the Bath Massacre that happened right here in the 1920s in Michigan. And I didn't know anybody that died in that blast, but I stood right where the middle of that school was, where the monument was. And I had Willa Hall come through, her brother Georgie, a boy named Thompson. I had the teachers coming through. I even think the vice principal came through. I mean, they're talking the old time slang too, like this is mischief and calling kids little britches and stuff. I mean, I'm telling you, these were
Okay.
sophisticated answers. I had no idea that when I went to look at that plaque to see who died there, that I was going to see Willa Hall. She came through like crazy. She wanted to be heard. She said her name was Willa Hall and that she was 12 years old and that her brother George was there. So we did the research as soon as we got home and we heard all that. And every single thing that came through was 100% true. And Willa Hall died one day before her 12-year-old birthday. So I
Oh,
went back to Bath Massacre while the sunlight was out, you know, and where I was actually standing around that monument, there's bricks in the ground there, and they have all the children's names that died in that massacre there. And I'll be darned if I was not standing basically on the brick for Willa Hall, which is amazing. And it
okay.
really hurt me because I only spent about 30 minutes out there and got so many freaking things, so many answers. It's unbelievable. But one of the last things that they actually said was there wasn't enough time. And that hit me hard because I felt at that moment when I was at home going over that evidence, like there was a line of children that actually wanted to come forward and say something, but I did not allow enough time. And at the and at the time that I got home, I had no idea that that had come through because I would have stayed another 30 minutes out there if I had known. So, but the teacher even came forward towards the end telling the kids it was mischief. It's just unbelievable because, you know, it is mischief for some voice to come through to the spirit world all of a sudden that they can hear, and then we can hear them back. That, I mean, that is, it's like, is this the devil? I mean, if they can't actually see me, then how do they know? So it's very, very interesting, and we're still not 100% sure what's going on, but we do know that the spirit world is there and they are communicating back with the right equipment.
Okay. Wow. Do you plan on doing other videos, paranormal videos
I do
in
plan
the
on doing
future?
some. You know, I got kind of scared on my last video because a child voice came through and it should have been an elderly lady. The child voice came through and said, "That's Satan," just like that, like "That's Satan." And I was like, what in the world? And right after that, I asked a question. I didn't know that that little voice came through yet. But right after that, I asked a question. I was like, "Miss Erickson, do you feel any pain on the other side?" And the voice came through and said, "My hip." Well, the next day, I went, sat down on the couch. I could not even stand up. Now I'm having to go and get surgery done on my back. My whole entire left hip has been royally messed up, almost paralyzing ever since that voice came through and said her hip hurt. Now all of a sudden I've got hip pain out of nowhere, and I'm talking paralyzing pain coming from the L5 nerve in the spine all the way down the leg. So I don't know if a demonic spirit came through here when that said, "That's Satan," and like ripped my spine, or
Wow.
what happened. So that, you know, it is what it is. I can't answer that.
Yeah. Okay. And did some of your kids ever come up to you, let's say in the middle of the night, crying, saying, "I saw this lady," or "I saw something,"
The house
or
where the shadow figure was, my kids would be sleepwalking all the time, but they were doing it with their eyes open. It was almost like they were in a trance. It was kind of scary, honestly, because
okay.
they're sitting there talking like why they're sleepwalking, and it's nuts because they're saying all these weird things. It's pretty dang crazy. It's pretty insane. So yes, I felt scared in that home, and then I saw the shadow figure. My kids sleepwalking. They're sitting there talking all this gibberish,
Hmm.
which is very insane. And so it got scary in there. So yeah, I mean, I've had them kind of experiences, and they have
Ooh.
too.
Yeah, because kids are very sensitive to
Yep. Oh yeah.
spirits and stuff like that. That's why I ask.
Well,
Let me
Levi,
see.
I don't know if he's like me, but sometimes I see him waving like that, and when I look, there's nothing even over in that direction. So it's kind of strange. It's like he's looking at somebody and waving. So you just don't know.
Okay. So guys, type your questions in all caps so I can read them and I can find them faster. Let's see what else. Um,
Para
so
urban.
para urban.
So I just saying hi to him. We've got
Oh,
a lot of cool
okay.
people up in here. I just wanted to say hey to
Yeah.
everybody and thank y'all very much for coming in as well too.
Yes. Welcome everyone. If you have a question you've always wanted to ask, now's your chance. It can be on whatever subject you want.
I
Okay.
could go on and on. It's a very interesting subject and a very interesting situation, and everybody would like to know where their loved ones are. Everybody hopes that their loved ones are in heaven, and everybody just wants to feel the best. That way, they get that weight lifted off their shoulders and everything. But there's going to be a second side of life. And as of right now, I believe until ultimate judgment comes among the human souls, you're either stuck. I think there's like a few different paths you can take. You may be able to go to purgatory. You might be able to stay where you're at. You might be able to go into a light that could be going into paradise. Some of these souls could be scared of the light. Some of them could be scared to go the other way. They might just be staying where they're at, because what I'm finding, which is very interesting, is just like where the Bath Massacre is, just like where Mrs. Erickson is right here. They didn't leave here. They're still here. They don't follow their body. So sometimes, you'll have a few spirits that they follow their bodies to the cemetery, and they might be out there in the cemetery, but other spirits might choose to stay where they died. But I think that we're all kind of here until the great judgment happens. Nobody's going to enter those gates, not until they're first done being built. The gates hadn't even been open until they're done being built by the bloodline of Canaan. So until that
That's the
happens, nobody
spirit.
enters. Not even Jesus himself enters those gates. He's in paradise, my friends, which we can meet Jesus in paradise. But, if you choose to stay where you're at when you die, it's kind of like a purgatory situation. You're stuck there. You're going to be there until judgment, and you're not going to age. You're waiting at that moment to be judged. And that's why when I go there, Willa Hall died in 1927. I asked her how old she was. She told me she's 12 years old. She sounded like a 12-year-old. She acted like a 12-year-old. Georgie sounded like her little brother, and he acted like that. So
Hmm.
why? Why
Yeah.
are they
I believe
not?
spirits can travel from one place to another,
It's
wherever
possible.
they go, wherever they want. I've
But
been to cemeteries where there were a presence of spirits, but those spirits weren't even buried there.
but let me ask
They
you this.
were visiting their deceased. relatives.
Let me ask you this. And you got to remember, too, that demons can come in the form of loved ones and they can fool us to get into our lives and make things miserable later down the road. So you always got to be careful for that as well, too. But why would a spirit choose to stay where they were blown to shreds instead of move on and go with their family? Because when I asked them about their family, asked them about the baby, they said, gonna kill the baby. I mean, what kind of sister would actually say something like that? And y'all can find that in the Bath Massacre video that I've got on my channel. But why would a spirit choose to stay where they died if it was a horrific event that happened? Don't you think that they would move to the light or move to the cemetery? To me, it's very interesting. And the thing is where I go, where people did die, that's where I get direct, crystal clear communication.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like I said, there's so many questions. I don't know everything, and none of us do. But you know, all we can do is give our opinions and help each other learn, and that's what me and you are doing. You know, and so
Yeah.
we're trying to figure it out, and we've made a big leap into being able to communicate with the paranormal world by having the Miracle Box app out. And y'all have got the Necrophonics. That seems to be working really well for y'all as well, too. And there's a lot of apps out there like that that are working great for a lot of you out there. And I've had people come in and they say, you had to fake that. That was too clear. No, I didn't fake that. So my biggest thing is crystal clear communication without background static. It's just absolutely freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's why when I do my videos, I use the necrophonic,
Yeah.
but then I'll use the either the dowsing rods or the pendulum, which are things that I can't trick. There's no way I can trick the pendulum. If it wants to say yes, it'll say yes,
Yep. Yep.
and the rods as well.
Yep.
So, and most of the time, they correspond with the answers.
Oh
Like
yeah.
most of the time, like all the time, I would say.
Oh yeah. Yep, yep. I've seen some amazing stuff coming off y'all's channels, and y'all are getting a lot of interesting feedback, a lot of actual, you know, it had to be something, because what else is going to be that sophisticated to answer a question directly like that? So yes, there's definitely many out there. The thing that separated the apps for me was the voice box, the voice bank. You know, there's a bank of words in these apps. There's words already stored in these apps. So what I can't trust about that is, you know, if these words are already stored in an app, then how do we know that we're getting anything accurate, you know, and not like a guessing game? The thing about the app that Steve Huff actually made, there is no words in the voice bank. It's just gibberish. It goes backwards. It's gibberish, not one word. You can run it backwards. You can do whatever you want. We've already tried to debunk that. There's not any gibberish in there. So when you get an answer, it should scare the crap out of you, because the only way you could get that answer is through spirit manipulation. And you're gonna, and like I said, everybody might not be able to use that app. They might be way better off with necrophonics. But for some reason with me, it's just like that thing is like a freaking phone to the other side.
Okay.
It's the Miracle Box app.
She wants to know, how can you still talk so fast when you smoke so much? Seriously, thought, what was your first experience in this house? Or
I've had experiences since I was a little boy. Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm getting ready to tell them right now. When I was a little boy, I lived in South Carolina, you know, and there was Indians all up and down the East Coast, you know, and I don't know if my neighborhood could have possibly been built on like an old camping ground for the Indians or a site, because we're right close to all the creeks and all your fishing, the beaches and all that. But I always remember 3 Indians standing there at my doorway staring in at me. And I was always wondering why these guys were there. Why are these guys always there looking at us like that? And so I got a little bit older and I was like, Dad, who were the Indians that used to always come to the house? And he said, what Indians? He's like, what are you talking about? It's like the Indians that used to come stare at us over there in the house. And he didn't know nothing about that. So he didn't even see these things. So I was seeing them. But, you know, my dad would put me in my bedroom when I was little, when I was still crawling. And I don't know, maybe it could be because I was little and just was scared. But I always felt like I had to grab the carpet and hold on, like something had my feet, like trying to drag me through the room. And one night I woke up and I got really sick because I was staring into my closet and there was a bunch of shadows, but it was flames and it was big, giant knife columns. It was columns shaped like giant steak knives and a lot of flames. And I got really sick right after seeing that. And I ended up running to my dad's bed as quick as I could. So
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe I've just always had some type of connection and didn't really know, but it's like I didn't get into like trying to directly communicate with spirits until just recently after I realized how much Miss Erickson was talking and how much communication I got at the Bath Massacre location as well. So now I feel like if I go where somebody died, they'll be glad to talk to me. I just have that feeling.
Do you think you'll need the app to hear that person? Because sometimes you can hear like a
Sometimes you can feel it, Sandra. I mean,
yeah,
we've
or
even had
smell it.
ghost cats. So if you want to know if
You
animals
can
have
smell it
souls, I
too.
believe 100% yes, they do. I believe every breathing living creature has a soul. We all breathe the same breath, just like the Bible says we breathe the breath of the beast.
Mhm.
So we're breathing their breath and we're supposed to take care of these animals. But one of my little girl cats really loved us. I mean, every night she'd curl up in between my legs, jump up on the bed, curl up in between my legs. But we ended up having this huge predator bird. I think it was a big old white owl in South Carolina that actually ended up getting that cat. And I'm pretty sure me and my wife driving to work one morning saw the owl way up in the top of a big old tree eating the cat. But anyway, about 3 months later, living there, you know, I'm laying in the bed and all of a sudden I felt boom, blump, 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 and then curled up in my lap. I felt every single movement. I was 100% sure that my cat was back. I went to put my hand there. There's nothing there. I looked forward, nothing. My heart started beating so fast it wasn't even funny.
Mhm.
And I asked Mrs. AAP the next day because she had already fallen asleep. I said, "Have you ever feel like a cat jumped in the bed?" She's like, "Are you kidding me? I had the same experience." And right there validated the whole thing.
Yeah, you're both experiencing the same thing.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Let me see if I have a
and
question.
and and you know, take it with a grain of salt. You know, I'm not nobody, I'm not trying to change anybody's beliefs or opinions. I'm just going by like my experiences, you know, what I've come to conclusion to kind of believe, you know, because like I said, I mean, I just, you know, children should move straight onto heaven. You know, why would there be children's souls still where they blew up, and why would they be the same age, and why can they communicate? So there's so many whys in there. We've got to figure out the whys. You know, we've got to figure this out, and we're doing it. But we got to keep on looking like we're doing.
Okay. So this experience doesn't like really scare you anymore?
What'd you say, Sandra?
What you're going through with this investigation and stuff, so now you're not really as scared as the first time when you saw that lady figure.
I'm a lot more peaceful now. You know, because when you don't, when you're still a skeptic and you're not a believer because you haven't really had the experience, it's hard to feel the way that I do. But after you've had a few experiences and you realize, you know, it's there, there's nothing you can do about it, and you're gonna be there one day. You're gonna be there.
Hmm.
So you got to learn to live with that. And ever since I realized that, I've been at peace and I've been peaceful and nothing bothers me. And when I feel scared, I just remember Jesus. He says, "Fear not." And all of a sudden I'm just ready to go to that holy war. You know, if I had to go to that holy war, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to fear not. And you have to have that fear not attitude, because if you're scared while you're doing this, you just open the doorway for all kinds of evil activity.
would you have like a partner to go and do an investigation?
Sure would. Actually, my son went with me to Bath Massacre. He was also using the app that we downloaded. He had his Apple phone. I had my Android phone, and he got so many crystal clear, intelligent responses. That's also on the Bath Massacre clip that I've got on my channel. It's absolutely amazing, Sandra. That is the most clearest EVPs I've ever heard. And I hear a lot. I hear y'all getting them, but I'm talking with no noise, direct communication, and even ending that whole scene with them saying we didn't spend enough time. I mean, it was just terrible. It made me feel terrible that I left and these other kids didn't get to come forward. It was almost like there was just a big old crowd of kids that wanted to say something. And now I know that I could go back. But yes, I little nervous after the whole hip thing happened here.
Okay. Did you have like protection with you when you went and stuff? Like,
God is my protection. I mean, God is my light, my shining armor. He's always protected me, Sandra. I didn't have a mother growing up, so life was pretty difficult for me and my brother. It was hard. It was tough. We worked our asses off. Things seemed dark at times, like life really, really sucked, So where was I going with that? What was your question, Sandra?
Are you planning on going back soon though?
Yeah, I'm going to do some more, Sandra. I've got to, because there's too many questions out there that need to be answered. I mean, there's got to be things that we can keep doing. I mean, Steve Huff has done an amazing job with that app. And I know a lot of people think that he's fake, but after me using his app, I got to tell you, that stuff's not fake. It's real. Now, the whole question is, are we talking to a spirit or are we talking to a demon? We won't never know until we're on the other side, unless we can come up with some type of technology to where we've got like a manifestation in front of us that we can talk with, which, I mean, with all these virtual reality apps and all these Oculuses they're coming out with for your heads and all that, we're real close, Sandra. I think that we're on the road to maybe being able to look into the other side.
Okay. Look at your friend Moose here. It's a wild experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, crazy stuff. I mean, I think that obviously they've have something following them, because everywhere he goes, excuse me, there's always paranormal activity going on, boxes getting thrown around, doors opening and shutting, things like that. But he did build on an old battleground on James Island. And so, you're going to have to expect some kind of activity,
Yeah.
I think that those type of grounds should be sacred ground and not be allowed to be built on, but they're building it all up.
Okay. And when can we expect another cooking video?
I love
I just
cooking
love those.
I love cooking on the flat top. Excuse me,
Yeah.
fellas. Sorry about that. Let me put this down so I can finish this up without coughing the whole time. Anyway, we cook every day. We should be doing videos every day. It's just a matter of getting motivated. With the kids being in virtual schooling again, we've got 5
Yeah.
of them in school. It's really hard to get motivated. So, I mean, I just need to get up there. I mean, even the cooking shorts are doing really well. So probably really soon.
Okay. And are the cooking things like half half, or it's only you that cooks in the house? Or Mrs.
Rebecca is a great chef. She does a lot of the cooking. She cooks most of the dinners every night, unless we're
Most
out
of
there
the
working
time?
on the flat top.
Okay.
We are both what you would consider a Southern cook. So we cook everything Southern style, a lot of gravy and things like that, barbecue sauces and all that kind of stuff. And so we
Okay.
got a lot of stuff that we can bring forward and show people how to make that's really good. And we should do that. And Scat Packs up in here. There's a lot of great people, Debbie and Tanya and
Yeah.
Wisteria.
Yeah. And Haunted
Heck
by
yeah.
Haunted. Yeah, we
Haunted
got
by Haunted.
we got Frank Art Morbid. Hello.
Heck yeah, Art of Morbid's got a nice channel.
Oh, yes. His live streams on Wednesday morning. I'm always there. Don't look for me nowhere else.
Yep, and my girl Nikki and Just E, two great
Oh, yes.
friends. Check
Just
them out. Injections is up in here as well too. So, all these people are here supporting, and that's what it's all about. That's what's building up these families, And so I really appreciate it very much that they showed up tonight.
What was my scariest paranormal?
What'd you say?
Someone's asking in the chat, Sandra, what was your scariest paranormal moment?
Good question.
Mine was I went to an abandoned mausoleum, and I was just like filming the outside, like to start a video, make like an intro. And I already started feeling like something was touching the side of my face.
Ooh, doggy.
I stayed there. Well, my video is 12 seconds long. It's a short. They didn't exist back then, shorts. So, anyways, I hopped back into the truck and I told Eric, let's take off. And I took a video and I took photos. And on every photo, in one window in particular, you can compare the window before and after. There's a black figure in the window that has his neck, like broken neck. And it turns out to be this guy's name is James, and he committed suicide in those bathrooms. So I got touched. I heard growling. Um, I live with three spirits here in the house right now in this room. So you might see an orb go by once in a while. That happens like on a regular basis. And when I was exploring, like just exploring abandon, I was with Eric because his channel's exploring abandon, and we were with another channel, another guy, and the guys let the ladies go first. It's in the winter time. So I said, "Oh, okay, you're so sweet, guys." So I'm filming. I'm going towards the house because you had to go in by the back. But all the way up to the door, I saw like paw prints in the snow, and it led right into the kitchen, like
Oh,
where.
wow.
And I said, "Oh, it's not here. It left a long time ago." And I'm filming and everything, and I hear crunch, crunch, and noise and everything on both sides of me. I never figured that it was the guys that were coming. That's why I thought the animal was still in the cupboard, so I ran away.
Damn
It was
hellhound.
oh, I ran so fast and started swearing in French because I'm
Good
from
Lord.
Canada.
Jeez, I bet. That's one of those moments,
Yeah.
You don't got too much time to think. You better just get going.
Here, Barb has a question.
Danny Bay, what's up?
Have you ever had an experience? I can't read no more. That made you second guess why you would do things. Did you ever?
Did
Did
you
you
read
ever
that,
have?
Becca?
Okay.
The question.
Okay. Have you ever had an experience that made you second guess why you were doing this? Go ahead.
Well, no, I don't second guess it. I second guess sometimes because, I'm a Christian. I kind of go with what the Bible has to say a lot of times. And so it really doesn't like us doing that. So I have to kind of, I have to be careful. But at the same time, there's so many questions out there and so many things going on and so many people want to know. And, I'm not really like trying to like bring spirits back to life and all these crazy things. I'm just trying to get answers and find out what kind of experiences these spirits are having, finding out if they're all right or if they're still experiencing like pain and things like that. So it's just a never ending battle of questions, really, Sandra.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, guys, since Patriot's channel is on based on growing, well, the ones that have a wrench, you can for tonight drop your link, And I'm sure that would make them happy, because usually I reserve my Friday nights just for my guests, and it's only my guests' link and my links, of course.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but on Mondays when I do my premieres of my video, my adventures, well, then you can drop your link there too. And on Sundays, well, that's another one when I do Para Squad with King Jared and Queen Laura TV. They're my co-hosts. We have a show and we investigate live in front of you every Sunday. And it's the chat that asks the questions, like they type it in and we ask it for them. So we're not asking the questions, it's the chat only. Oh, here Debbie has.
We got Debbie McWaters up in here. She says, "Do
Yeah.
you think some people, especially children who die suddenly, do not realize they are dead? I think that they don't realize what's going on. If they die too
Mhm.
suddenly, they really don't know what just happened. You know, we've got souls from the Bath Massacre that came forward that are pretty intelligent. So you would think that they would know. You know, they're talking about the cold, they're talking about the snow. I mean, they're
Yeah.
very intelligent. I think that if they're young like that, they just don't realize what happened. It could be normal for them. They could think that that was what was supposed to happen because, bam, all of a sudden they're in the spirit world. So for
Yeah,
all
they
they really
don't.
know, that was
They,
what was supposed to happen because they didn't even know that they died. So they just moved on into the spirit world.
yeah, they don't realize the difference between the two worlds too sometimes. Like they feel the same before and after, you know.
There's definitely something there that seems like it's kind of manipulating. Sometimes it seems like something's holding these spirits back. Sometimes it seems like there's something there that they are scared of, which, you know, worries me because that makes me wonder what is there, because we hear about these beasts and half men and these creatures and all these things. They're going to probably have souls there. So, I mean, we don't know what's holding some of these people back, what's controlling them, why
Hmm.
sometimes they yell stuff out like that, Satan. I mean, we've got a lot to learn still.
Yeah, and some are afraid of the big white light also.
Exactly what I was saying, because they might
They're
feel like, you
scared.
know, once they make that step, that might be all she wrote. They might not realize that
Yeah.
that is their safety light. Go into that safety light. That's where you belong. And
Hmm.
so they're sitting here where they passed away because either they're waiting on another loved one to join them and then go, or we're all going to just be here waiting on ultimate judgment. So that's the question right there, you know.
Hmm.
And like I said, every answer there's another question. So it's just something that the
Yeah.
Paranormal Society, we've been trying to figure out for a long time. And unfortunately, like every time you find something, there's going to be more questions with it
Hmm.
until we can get to that technology. We're basically like that. What is it? Stranger Things, where you're actually like
Yeah.
going into the other dimension. I mean, because
Yeah.
I really feel like on the pathway that we are and opening up the 5G, and even China's doing 6G, I think that eventually they're going to have some kind of portal here that you're going to
Did
actually be able to
you
see these things.
did you ever try the Estes method?
I haven't tried it personally, low man.
Okay, because that you swear you're in purgatory right there.
Yep,
It's
that's what I'm
the
saying, Sandra.
microphonic app with
Yep.
headphones, and
Hmm. Yep.
you're blindfolded, and there has to be someone with you for sure
The
to
white
guide you.
light, Senator, the white light, it could possibly lead you to purgatory where you're waiting, and it's
Mm,
still like a learning
but
experience there, because I've heard of so many people that say they went up, 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 and all of a sudden you're in these big hallways with rooms, and every room's filled with people just reading and learning. And so it's like, you know, we still got time, even once we move on from the shell, our vessel that we're in right now, we're still going to have time ourselves to be able to get saved and do what we need to do to move in the right direction as well too. So that's a good thing. But we may not have as much time as the souls that's been here waiting for 2, 3, 4,000 years, you know. So We may not have quite as much time, which is more important for us right now to start figuring out what's right and doing the right things as well too, and teach your family right as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So coming.
loving people is most important. You know, helping people when you can, putting the shoes on the homeless, you know, just helping people. If they need a meal, give it to them, you know, doing what you can for others and just having faith in God. And I promise, my friends, everything's going to be just fine. We're going to move on, and we might not ever know exactly until we get there. But one thing's for sure, we're living in what we can consider right now part one, and we will be moving on to part two, my friends. And what it's like, all we can do is keep asking questions, my friends.
Yeah. So coming back to your channel. So do you have like a regular schedule for your channel, like for your live streams and stuff?
We're going to try this out. Where I've been doing a 2 p.m. thing, which is working out really well. I'm thinking about maybe one night a week going live at like 8:30 or 9. I don't want to trample on any of my friends or do anything like that. So I'm going to figure out a time, figure out a night that would work. That would give more people that have been working all day time to get in the show,
Okay, yeah.
keep everybody growing, because the more family that we bring together, the faster our channel is going to grow, because it's like the tree effect, you know, one branch goes in 2 directions, that one goes in 4, and so on and so forth. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. As long as we all come together and work together, we can all get our channels super big.
Okay. So it's every day so far? It's every day or
I'm thinking I might take Saturday and Sunday off. I'm not
yeah.
100% sure yet. I'm going to talk that over with Mrs. AAP. It takes a lot out of my vocals going strong all week, but I rock for everybody that comes up into my channel. So I'm going to keep that going on. And whether or not I go Saturday and Sunday, that's still kind of to be determined.
Yeah,
But 2
well you
p.m.
should.
Eastern time is a guarantee. Monday through Friday, I will be on.
As a friend, I suggest keep your weekends with your wonderful family. Come back to us
Exactly.
on Monday. We'll be here. We'll
Yep.
still be here waiting for you.
That's right. And it gives me time to get to everybody's channel as well, too, because I don't want people to come to my channel and then I never get to their channel. So that takes time. And you know that,
Yeah,
because
I know that. Yeah.
Sandra is one of the best supporters anybody can have, my friends. Make sure that you're subscribed to her before you leave here tonight, because she will be a great supporter for your content. So we greatly appreciate you, Sandra.
Yeah, well, I have 7 monitors. I can have 7 channels running anytime I want. So you come see me, I'll go see you for sure. And I
Yes,
think you know
ma'am.
that.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Semper Fi. Bam. Heck yeah, my friend.
But- well, on that note, and that's going to be it for now, I would like to thank you for accepting my invitation
Yes,
to
ma'am.
the show.
I
And
enjoyed it.
well, I was really honored to have you on. So, guys, on that note, that'll be it for now. And I want you all to have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all in your next videos. Goodbye.
See y'all later.
Much
God bless.
love. Bye.